Welcome to Darbucks, everyone. We'll meditate for a few minutes while people are arriving. One fell asleep. Any questions? Meditation, breathing, body awareness. Anything come up in your meditation? Nothing came up in your meditation. Thoughts, feelings, emotions, memories, shopping list tomorrow. How about everyone more comfortable fully breathing, inhaling, exhaling. It's almost like inhaling, thoughts, feelings, emotions, memories, things tend to arise. And then exhaling, we follow that, it all dissolves. Completely exhale, like that final little, not forcing it, just allowing that space where we totally release everything, totally exhale. There's kind of a space there, then everything arises again. Give some attention to that when you're sitting and breathing. Notice a little how that works. See, we can hand these out today. Or share one if there aren't enough. This is a famous Zen teacher, Nichiren Hakuin. Hakuin kind of revitalized and put a lot of dynamic energy back into Zen. It kind of Rinzai Zen. It kind of had lapsed a little bit at the time. These things kind of happen periodically. This is a short kind of, they call the Zazen Wasa, Hakuin's Song of Zazen. So just the first line, it's like, this is like these kinds of teachings from great meditation teachers help us to shift our view, our essential view of things. We could sit and meditate and get calm and relaxed, but more important than that, really, in a way, or what that pivots off of is our view, right? Our central view. Like, what is this meditation about? Like, why are we meditating? We sit like statues and get quiet. We get calmer. We get a little deeper. We discover our more essential nature, how all beings are interconnected. Or here in like his first line, all beings by nature are Buddha. That's really enough, just one line there to like, all beings, not some beings, all beings essentially are Buddha or have Buddha nature. Then there's an analogy, ice by nature is water. Apart from water, there is no ice. Apart from beings, there is no Buddha. How sad that people ignore the near and search for truth afar, like someone in the midst of water, crying out in thirst, like a child of a wealthy home wandering among the poor. Lost on dark paths of ignorance, we wander through the six worlds. From dark path to dark path we wander. When shall we be freed from birth and death? For this, the Zazen of the Mahayana deserves the highest praise. Offerings, precepts, paramitas, Nembutsu, atonement, practice, the many other virtues, all arise within Zazen. Zazen meaning seated meditation practice. Those who try Zazen even once wipe away immeasurable crimes. Where are all the dark paths then? Pure Land itself is near. Those who hear this truth even once and listen with a grateful heart, treasuring it, revering it, gain blessings without end. Much more, if you turn yourself about, confirm your own self-nature, that self-nature is no nature. You are far beyond mere argument. So this is a little, self-nature is no nature. Back to all beings by nature are Buddha. Yeah.
What is Zazen?
Seated meditation. You are Zazen. So in this view, Hakuin's making, seated our meditation practice, and this very practice is the practice of expressing our inherent Buddha nature. We begin to get a little taste of what in Zen they might call, with different names, you could say Buddha nature, or they refer to the unborn mind. What is that unborn essence that never born, never dies? So we get a little taste of that as we sit in our meditation, and thoughts, feelings, and memories arise, emotions, mental constructions, and then everything falls away. But then there's something else that all this is moving through in a sense. And this is our inherent Buddha nature or unborn mind. The oneness of cause and effect is clear. Not two, not three. The path is put right with form that is no form. Going and coming never astray, with thought that is no thought. Singing and dancing are the voice of the law. Boundless and free is the sky of samadhi, bright the full moon of wisdom. Truly is anything missing now? Nirvana is here before your very eyes. This very place is the lotus land, this very body, the Buddha. So in this sense, in this very present moment, it's really the avenue to experiencing our unborn mind, our essential nature. So as we get closer, it's like we're instead of, like, usually when we experience something, like the sound of the stick or the bell ringing, the first thing that happens is we're objectifying it, naming it, categorizing it. It's something happening separate from us, this separate ego identity. But in the presence of meditation, the sound is just sound. The bell is just the sound of the bell. And in that pure experience, neither craving nor aversion, just allowing that space to arise, is the freedom that is an expression of our Buddha nature. So breathing, I usually talk about. Does anyone know how to breathe? It takes practice. Usually after age 2, it's downhill. 2-year-olds do a great job. Then we get it all cluttered up with our conditionings and obstructions and mental ideas, and everything's all tied up in our breathing. Someone cuts us off in the freeway and feel angry, and our breathing stops, and we're ready to yell. And it's like meditate out the window and things like that. Right? So exploring this breath-body awareness, getting it closer and closer and closer together, seamlessly, seamless relationship. Right to that point, okay, some thought, some memory past, some anticipation future. There's a point, it's like, right when that arises. And we're looking at it. And right when it disappears, right? But within that arising and disappearing, there is something else, that's our intrinsic nature, Buddha nature, our essence.
And so by practicing this and getting back to that, there's a benefit.
Benefit?
Yeah, there's a benefit to it.
There's a benefit. Yeah, there's a benefit. It's called not getting hooked by these things don't stop, right? It's like we don't walk into the freeway to stop. That doesn't work very well. So everything keeps arising, right? It's like, okay, it's arising. Nice sunny day. It's foggy today. A little bit cooler. Big thunderstorm. These things arise and they go away. Same with our life experience, things arise. And then we do have the space, choice is a bad word. We have the space to consider how that carries us or not. Something comes up, it's like, okay. Dissolve. Could be very creative elements, so we want to jump in and do that. Could be something very much the opposite. It's like, maybe we just let that happen and then it goes away. Yeah, but really the key point of practice is this present moment, entering into that space. Our meditation kind of gives us more spacious awareness as all these elements in our life arise and take place.
And what about the breathing? I know you started mentioning.
So breathing, completely inhaling. breathing from the diaphragm, breathing from the belly. So breathing, inhaling completely. And then when you exhale, not exhaling like this, but exhaling so your stomach relaxes, you know. Diaphragmatic breathing. If you have access to a 2-year-old, you can watch them. They're breathing this way, yeah.
I have a question. When I get into a deep meditation, I first focus on my breathing, and then I focus on visual. And then I forget about my breathing, so I'm not sure if I feel like I'm centered, but I'm not focusing on my breathing. Is that, should I get back to my breathing?
Yeah, this is the common kind of, follow your breath. Well, what does this mean? So, breathing and body, one thing or two things? Trick question. If it's not one thing, that means we're at the end of the right?
The end of what?
End of life. No, breath and body are separate at that time. So we're body breathing, and it's a great focus for our meditation because it's continuously moving. Even when there's a slight pause, there's still a kind of movement. Just like life, in the sense of Buddhism, talking about impermanence of everything is flowing continuously. So the point of practice is to be unified with that fluidity of things, not to fixate on something, but to be present with everything as it's in this fluid dynamic, spacious dynamic. So really, as we sit, okay, we can give the focus to our posture a bit, and to our breathing, and then together the body breathing. And then we start, after a little while, we start to have the feeling almost like we're not just breathing through our nose and mouth, but our whole body is breathing. That's a good sign. Everything is breathing. There's a kind of a full body awareness, and then that starts, extends into the space that we're in. And the idea on our visual, it's like, open eyes, closed eyes. Some people have already heard this, but eyes open. Unless it's a really scary movie, then close your eyes. If your eyes are closed, mostly if you experiment with yourself, you get more either into a dream state or into a more shadow box. If your eyes are wide open and you're looking at things, that's also a distraction. It's like we're objectifying and analyzing and naming. It's a meditation cushion. There's people, there's chairs, So that's not where we really want to go. So eyes tiny bit open, but gazing instead of focusing. So if you were to hold your hands out, you would see your fingers moving. So when I do that, I still see like the laptop in front of me and the bell and everything, but everything else is in the field at the same time. And then just slightly look down a little bit. Eyes mostly maybe a quarter open. All I can say is experiment and try it. It's helpful. It seems a little awkward at first, but it actually is. What did we say a few minutes ago? It's harder but easier. And after a while, it becomes automatic. Because really, it's all meditation. We're looking at this practice and then to carry it into our regular activity. So this is seated meditation. Then we get up and we are walking meditation, and we're driving meditation, and then we're interacting meditation. So slowly, this is like not to go off and like, oh, I have my nice peaceful little time. I get to meditate, and I wish I could do that all the time. No, that's not the right view. Right view is like, we do this practice so we can carry it into our daily activity. Ultimately, it becomes seamless, this interchange between seated and active. We get a little taste of that a bit better if during longer meditation retreats in like a Vipassana 10-day retreat or a Zen 7-day retreat. Then one's meditating and walking meditation and eating silent meditation, and pretty soon it's all the same. I make that sound easy. It's not easy, it's just very simple, but it's something we can all engage in and benefit from. Is that helpful? Breathe back to breathing. So completely inhale. Thoughts, feelings, emotions arise and then all disappear. So we'll practice for a little bit. Any final questions or comments?
Is there any benefit in stillness of the physical body to whatever extent is possible?
Stillness of physical body?
Yeah.
Impossible. You mean relative, like motionlessness, like when we're sitting?
Yeah.
The benefit is in it makes it more accessible to enter into a more seamless relationship with our body-mind. One of the ways we habitually distract ourselves in our daily activity is actually through unaware movement. You can check yourself with this, like fidgeting, moving, looking, distraction, itching. Where does the itch come from? Itches are really interesting, especially if you get a really bad itch in the middle of meditation. This is very, very juicy focus for understanding oneself. Really, it is. I'm not joking. Where does the itch come from? Where does it go away to? Who is itching? No, but so movement is in meditation helps us have engage a more seamless, integral, unified relationship of body-mind awareness, breathing. This is the point. So motionlessness helps because then we're really very, if it's done properly, then we can clearly engage in that seamless relationship. There's a kind of this is why it's also important to keep eyes open a little bit. It brings us into our body. We're not trying to escape somewhere in some transcendent zone. Place of awakening in Zen and Buddhism is right here. We're not going to have some, cosmic firework blowout experience and out of body and da-da-da, not going to happen. So in that sense, if that's what you mean by motionless, but really in Zazen and sitting, the body becomes more dynamic. It's very energetic. It's very strong dynamism to it. So it's not really motionless at all. We're more still, perhaps. Yeah, anything else? Thank you. It's the same in retreat practice. The function of retreat is that, and the benefit is that it's in the kind of group practices, everything is in this very strong container. There's no escape. Oh, we're looking at us. You are looking at you. What is this you? Who am I? So that's why the strong container is so important. And this is universal in all traditions, from not just Zen, but everything in Native American to Mesoamerica to Hinduism, Sufism. This really strong container, shamanistic practices, all of it has this same, all in common, very strong container to pass through oneself. There's no escape. Well, thanks everybody. You can keep the flyer.
Thank you.